Hi there, my name is Timothy Hatfield. I am a PhD student in clinical psychology at the Australian National University. I want to talk to you today about thinking flexibly. Take a moment to consider what is happening in this image. Once you have settled on a description, think about what might have led to your first impression. Was it something specific about the image? Or perhaps something in the background? Were you influenced by a specific memory or a past experience? Now, try to come up with an alternative interpretation of what is happening. If your first interpretation was negative, try to make this one positive. And if your first interpretation was positive, try to make this one negative. What you may have noticed is that your first interpretation came very quickly, probably within a few seconds. And once you had settled on this interpretation, it was likely difficult to think of other possibilities. This is because, as humans, we interpret situations quickly and automatically. Sometimes these automatic thoughts are helpful. For example, imagine you are crossing the street and a car speeds towards you. In this situation, it makes sense to automatically note a few key details that will allow us to respond quickly and jump out of the way. However, sometimes our first impressions can get us into trouble. Imagine you have been dating someone for a bit over a week. You believe things were going well, but your date hasn't responded to your last message for a whole 5 hours. Your first interpretation may be, they don't like me anymore. If this is the case, you may feel sad, angry, ashamed, or even rejected. We may then try to manage these difficult emotions by lashing out, apologizing excessively, or maybe even withdrawing into our room. Unfortunately, this may lead to other difficult thoughts and emotions that can keep us stuck in a negative cycle of thinking. However, if we change our thought to, they are probably just busy, our subsequent emotions and behaviours are likely to be much more positive, and we can break out of this negative cycle. When we find ourselves stuck in negative cycles of thinking, we may be falling into what are called thinking traps. Two of the most common types of thinking traps are jumping to conclusions and thinking the worst. Jumping to conclusions is when we accept that the conclusion of an automatic thought is true, even if we have little or no evidence. Alternatively, thinking the worst is where we predict that a catastrophic outcome is going to happen. One way that we can get out of these thinking traps is to consider our automatic thoughts as just one possible interpretation and not facts. When we feel that we are falling into a thinking trap, we can avoid getting stuck by asking ourselves some important questions that allow us to generate alternative interpretations. For example, you may try asking yourself, what evidence do I have for this belief? Could there be any other explanations? And even if what I was predicting was true, could I cope with it? If you would like to learn more about thinking flexibly, please see the following resources. If this video brings up any difficult thoughts or feelings for you, or you just need someone to talk to, please consider getting in touch with your GP or calling Lifeline on 13 11 14. This has been a Mind Seeds video, brought to you by the College of Health and Medicine at the Australian National University.